Hello, geometry students. We're continuing in Chapter 11 today, and Chapter 11 was focusing on finding the area of different polygons. Today, this lesson will be on the area of trapezoids, rhombi, and kites. And so first we're asked to draw a trapezoid and identify the parts, and then write the formula for finding the area. I already have two trapezoids drawn. My first one is an isosceles trapezoid, where I have two sides equal. The parts are base 1 and base 2, and then my height is going to be perpendicular to my bases. In my second one, I do not have an isosceles triangle, but you still have the same parts. You have base 1, base 2, and the height. To find the area of a trapezoid, you take your bases, add them together, divide by 2, and then multiply it times the height. If you look in the book, their formula says half base 1 plus base 2 times the height. And these are the same formula here, people. This is a 1 and this is a 2. All they've done is pulled that out front there. So if you're looking in the book and are confused, they are the same formula. Let's look at the second part here. It says draw a rhombus and draw a kite. And what's the difference between the two? Rhombus is all sides are equal. Kite, the two adjacent sides are equal. Oh, my kite doesn't look very good. Those two are equal, and those two are equal. The formula for finding the area, that's what they ask down below here. All right. Take the diagonal, that's diagonal 1. This is diagonal 2. So for both the kite and the rhombus, area is diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. Now some kids will get that confused and they'll think it's D1 plus D2, but area is times for a rhombus and a kite. All right, let's take a look at our examples now. In example number 1, they ask us to find the area, and so it looks like I have a rhombus, so I need to take my D1 times my D2 divided by 2. And so this is 20 here, so my whole diagonal is going to be 40. Same thing with the other one. This is 10, so my whole diagonal is 20. I'm going to divide by 2. And so my area ends up being, you don't even need a calculator here, I'm going to cancel. That's 10, so 40 times 10 is 400. And then don't forget your label, centimeters squared. Let's look at example number 2. Looks like I have a square here. All sides are equal. So I really would like to take my area, my side times my side. But I don't have that, so at this point I'm pulling this out and I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem to that. This is 13, this is 13, and I'm looking for my s. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find my side. I'm going to take 13 squared and 13 squared to get my s squared. So I've got 13 squared and 13 squared gives me 338 is my s squared. Ah, hey, look at this, guys. This is s and s, which is s squared, right? If you want to take the square root of 338, you can, but what ends up happening is you're just going to end up squaring it right here. So your area is 338 centimeters squared. There is also another way to solve this problem, people. Squares are also considered a rhombus. So you could also use your rhombus formula. Area equals diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. So you could take area equals, this diagonal here is 26, multiply it times the other diagonal, which is 26, and divide it by 2. You are going to get the same thing, 338 centimeters squared. So that would have been the quick and dirty way to do it, people. Every square is a rhombus, so if you knew your diagonals, you can just do D1 times D2. All right, so let's move on to our next example, people. In number 4, we have one of the diagonals of a kite is twice as long as the other diagonal. If the area of the kite is 400 square meters, what are the lengths of the diagonals? Let's take a minute and draw a picture. I've got a kite. Okay, so that kind of looks like a rhombus, but the top two, let's say, are equal, and the bottom two are equal. You got one diagonal is twice as long as the other one. So I don't know this diagonal, so I'm going to call it X. The other diagonal is twice, so this is called 2X. They're giving you the area. So remember, for a kite, area is D1 times D2 divided by 2. Your area is 400. Diagonal 1 you called X. Diagonal 2 you called 2X. And then divided by 2. So do you people see there? So now you're going to go ahead and cancel right here and right here. So 400 equals X times X, which is X squared. Square root of 400 is 20. Now, what is the question again? We are asked to find the length of the diagonals. So 20 is my first diagonal. 2 times 20 is my second diagonal, which is 40. So I really need to now write a sentence. The diagonals of the kite are 40 meters, and 20 meters. See here, are we missing the problem, people? On our last one, I don't have it drawn. I missed number 3. Let's draw that real quickly. You've got 340 centimeters squared, and they have this picture, and this is your X, and then they have this diagonal is 20 meters. And so we have a rhombus here, so we're going to use our area is D1 times D2 divided by 2. My area is 340 equals, one of my diagonals is 20. This other diagonal here is really 2X, because it's X right here and it's X right there, so that's 2X. And then I need to divide by 2. So do you guys see here? Once again, my 2's are going to cancel. So I got 340 equals 20X. I'm going to divide by 20, and I'm going to get 17. So our value of X is 17. All right, so remember, people, when you're doing a rhombus or a kite, it's diagonal times diagonal divided by 2. When you're doing a trapezoid, then yes, it is base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. So don't get those two confused, people. You have a great night, and I will see you in class tomorrow.